Hello, everyone. My name is Teg Barclay, and I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my research proposal. My presentation is entitled ADHD in the Workplace, a Proposed Qualitative Study. Many people are familiar with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, at least on a surface level, but most are not acquainted with the lived experience and struggles individuals with ADHD must face every day in the modern world. Commonplace activities, such as completing tasks at work, can be significant hurdles. Navigating inherent symptoms while attempting to meet performance expectations is a core struggle that people with ADHD face on a daily basis. The purpose of this study is to answer the research question, how do adults with ADHD describe their experiences, barriers, and coping strategies in the workplace? This work is important because people with ADHD are more likely to have difficulty meeting goals at work, receive warnings, and subsequently have their positions terminated. They must also fight the stigma of being seen as careless and lazy, which can strain their relationships with colleagues and superiors. Understanding how these employees struggle and what they can benefit from can improve career prospects and workplace interactions. This information could make work experiences more fulfilling for both people with ADHD and the companies they work for. Most of the available literature on adults with ADHD focuses on how they struggle in many aspects of daily life, including in the workplace. In organizational industrial psychology, the term thriving refers to a state in which employees experience a sense of energy that promotes the acquisition and application of new skills. Thriving is encouraged in the workplace because it improves employee morale and increases production. On the surface, this sounds beneficial to all employees. However, in a seemingly contradictory manner, people with ADHD struggle with thriving under this definition. Blondel et al. Found that a vicious cycle is created with this type of thriving. First, a task done successfully creates a short boost of self-esteem, which then prompts the employee with ADHD to work excessively. This excessive work leads to more tasks being completed, but due to the neglect of self-care, can also lead to burnout. This highlights how what can work for a neurotypical employee may be detrimental to a worker with ADHD. Furthermore, Chan and Langberg found that those who rated high on inattentiveness were more likely to receive written warnings and struggle with interpersonal relationships in the workplace. Those who rated high on hyperactivity and impulsiveness also struggled with these, but also reported dealing with boredom at work and reported significantly lower incomes than their peers. This bolsters the idea that people with ADHD are not able to easily meet the expectations of our modern work culture. For this study, I would take a phenomenological approach. This design is used to understand participants' lived experiences. Having people with ADHD describe their workplace experiences would illuminate the shortcomings of current systems and maybe offer unique tools for overcoming hardships. Working in conjunction with local mental health agencies and their contacts to identify willing participants with ADHD, I would then use purposeful and snowball sampling, along with an online survey and interview submission tool. The survey would be advertised to be taken by those who have ADHD and currently work more than 20 hours a week. The survey would review ADHD symptoms to confirm that participants meet diagnostic criteria for the disorder. This would be followed by open-ended questions to elicit their experiences with work. A submission tool for their open-ended interview questions would be included. Going online through the chosen sampling method would focus the sample and help increase meaningful responses, which are some strengths of a qualitative design. These responses would be reviewed through thematic analysis, utilizing a qualitative software program such as Atlas TI to code key terms and identify potential patterns in the experiences of the participants. Though this study may seem fairly innocuous, consideration must always be given to potential ethical issues. First of all, both job security and online security would be ethical priorities. Participant responses would be stored securely on a server, protected by encryption and multi-factor authentication for survey administrators. Anonymity and confidentiality would be highlighted, and, identifying aspects of responses would not be included in any published data. Participants would be assured that they would not face repercussions for speaking poorly of their current employer in their responses. Additionally, talking about unpleasant past experiences can be difficult, so care would have to be taken to ensure, to the best of my ability, that I do not cause any undue distress. Lastly, as someone with ADHD myself, I would have to be very transparent in how my diagnosis may affect how I interpret the data. I would enlist other researchers to help compile the answers and analyze the data to ensure that my perspective on ADHD does not overshadow the participants' lived experiences. ADHD remains generally misunderstood, especially when it comes to adults and the intersection of their symptoms and work expectations. The current literature indicates they experience hardships, but further study is needed to identify where they struggle most at work and which resources they can use to help them achieve their goals. Listening to their experiences may be one of the best ways to do so, for which an online survey and open answer submission form would be utilized. Ethical considerations would need to be given to survey security and confidentiality, potential distress, and researcher bias, but addressing them would be feasible and worthwhile. People with ADHD, their coworkers, and their employers could all benefit from understanding how to best support this population to increase positivity and productivity. At this time, I would like to thank you for watching my presentation. Up on the screen are my references if you wanted to look at those more closely. But again, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say and to review this research proposal. Thank you.